Hey folks, Doc C here. I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the heat going on and some of the things we need to be mindful of. It's really important that we remain hydrated. Make sure that we don't have our animals in a car that doesn't have air conditioning. Make sure that we use the shade whenever we can. Being able to use pools, libraries, sometimes it's a good time to take kids to the mall. If your house isn't air conditioned, take advantage of the public places where you can go and get cooled off in the midday. When I was going to chiropractic college in Minnesota, I had no idea, being from up here in Canada, up in Western Canada, what the humidity would do. It was 95 and 95 degrees Fahrenheit, 95% humidity. And a buddy of mine said, let's go for a run. Well, I learned very quickly what heat stroke can feel like. And I hit the wall, and I told him, go ahead without me, I'll catch you on the way back. And I had to sit down on a wall. And a fellow there, he was an old Marine, he was flying the Marine flag, and he says, you don't look so good. You want me to hit you with this hose? And I said, sure. And everything went away. He put that on there within 10 seconds. All of the symptoms were gone. But I sure learned something that day. And I just want to let you realize that it's so important. I have a German Shepherd, and he has a double coat. So when it starts getting hot, I'll hit him with the hose. It's not too cold to water, so it's okay with him. He loves it, actually. Pretty soon he comes over and wants to drink the water coming out of the hose. But I think it really helps him. It cools him off. And if we can do that with our animals, cooling them off in some way, shape, or form, use your imagination. Kids are so important. Being able to keep the kids cool. Having a hat for them. Making sure that they have sunscreen. Because if you get a sunburn, it's really hard for your body to cool because it starts moving into that, I don't want to say sunstroke, but that in between. So making sure that you have those things. And if you can get some waterproof sunscreen, it's great. It's a little bit more money, but it's a good investment because when you put it on and they go in the pool and they come out of the pool, then they're still protected. So taking care of the children is so important when it gets hot like this. I normally don't write everything down, but today I am. Being able to dress in light things, Santas are never a 42 regular, so bigger folk, that's one of the things I was trying to cover today. And if you're a bigger person, you're just going to sweat more. I mean, let's be honest, in a room that's 80 degrees, we're sweating. And when it goes to 110, we're not just sweating, it's pouring out of us. So being able to have cool, loose fabric, having cotton is a great way to go. But it's really important because, you look at how people dress in places where it's hot all the time. It's a good example of what to do. And being able to have a hat, you look at some of these folks who live in areas like Southeast Asia, they wear brimmed hats that go all the way around, something that's light, straw, and it keeps them out of the sun. And it's a brilliant thing to do. So being able to, as Rudyard Kipling, used to say about, it's only mad dogs and Englishmen out in the noonday sun. And it's something to live by, because when you get that hot and humid, there's a fine line. And what you'll find is that when you start getting into that stroke, when the heat starts getting to you, many times you don't make good decisions. It's important to slow down. If you think you can just keep working and working, it can overcome you. It can take you over. And before you know it, you're not making good decisions. Your brain doesn't work very well because, you don't have the right, temperature. It affects you in so many different ways. So just slow down, be deliberate, get the moisture, get the coolness. It's so important. And also checking on family and friends. If there's people around you. Some of the older folks, they're living in buildings that are on one level. Hopefully they've got air conditioning, but if they haven't, go over and try to help them out. I remember my wife telling me that, of a long time ago when her father and mother were driving in the desert, and he had like a handkerchief on his head, and his wife was pouring water on it. And there's probably a lot of people that still do that kind of thing to be able to deal with the heat, because that evaporation cools you off. If you're in 95% humidity, that doesn't work as well as it does here. And if you're in a place like a desert climate, swamp coolers work because the evaporation really works. But if you're in an area like Toronto in the summer, or in a place where it's high humidity, it's really hard for those to work because the humidity really nullifies that evaporation capability. So being able to go to places where you know you can get cool is of utmost importance. Using an umbrella, pulling out the umbrellas, getting some shade. Create the shade if you can, even if you have to put up a tarp over the backyard in an area where the kids want to play, to get that shade. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about a few things like that, and just let you know how important it is, because we don't want to see anyone get hurt from the heat, and this heat is it's wearing on a lot of people. So till we meet again, if you can, please, if you like what we say, please hit the like button. And if you want to continue to hear it, hit the subscribe button, and have a great evening. Remember, Santa says, have a great one. Ho, ho, ho.